I just tell myself and accept that I can only control my own actions and responses to my feelings. I cannot control them, and I should not need to bend over backwards to try and grovel for them back. I think knowing that friends will come and go is a part of life, best friends or otherwise. I find that letting my emotions do their own thing, not suppressing or trying to escape them, helps most as I engage in self-care and life as usual, keeping busy if needed. Feelings are gonna do their own thing, tears will come and go, but you will be okay. I've had best friends I've had for years suddenly go no contact and I've been completely fine, thriving even. Self-care, keep life rolling, and let your emotions flow and be expressed in undestructive ways. Depending on the situation currently going through this RN, and I'm just at a point where I can't do the back forth anymore. I'm too grown for childish type of friendship drama. I have lots of love and memories her I wish her well, but I don't have it in me anymore to fight for this friendship mainly CZ I shouldn't have to. My best friend of 17 years stopped talking to me because my sister broke up with her ex-boyfriend and my best friend chose my sister's ex-boyfriend over me. 7 years later her grandma died, and of course I went to the funeral. Cue the usual we need to go for coffee, we need to go for dinner catch up. A couple of months pass by without hearing from her again. Understandable. A years goes by, finally talking again but only trough messages, since we live in different countries. She fully opens up to me, tells me all that's going on in her life. Felt like no time had passed by. We are finally in the same city again, for about 6 months. Not just a quick 1-week holiday. Got tired of all the we should go for dinner, I miss you, let's meet up without any follow trough. After 10 years I finally accepted that we were never gonna be friends again. It was the hardest realization in my life and I know whenever she needs me, I will be there, no questions asked, but it's time to let go. I would ask them what's going on, and if you guys could talk about it. I feel like a lot of PPL have a difficult time vocalizing their emotions. Attempts were made, but they were unsuccessful. I've had my best friend for 40 years. We started nursery school together, and in all that time we've had one serious argument, where we didn't speak for 2 months. She called me, we cried, we watched episodes of Buffy, and got over it. IDK, I guess, drinking wine. I love and miss my person. Nothing will help, except being with them. Most of my greatest best friends in life in my late 20s are absolutely no effort to have relationships with. We call and catch up when we can, because we all have busy lives. If the opportunity comes that we are both free to get together, we will. I'm convinced in this season of my life that relationships and friendships should be smooth sailing. Open communication and expectations that are attainable and realistic for both parties. One of my best friends, over 10 years, and I got into a fight recently, and we both just stopped talking to each other. This was back around Christmas. It needed to happen. We were both changing as people, and it felt like so much effort to plan and get together with her. I always kind of dreaded it, and I felt like I had to put on a facade of happiness and optimism whenever we were together. I wasn't really myself. I don't think friendships should be like that. Friendships should be about just being yourself and loving the other person for who they are and their company. Unfortunately, there's times in life where we need to learn to let people go and move on. It's just a part of life, and the right friends will stay with hardly any effort should they choose to be a part of yours. That's my secret. I don't. I'll pretend I'm fine and be all nonchalant about it, but in reality it would be the one time I wish I wasn't right. You see, I always expect people to eventually lose interest or leave me because it's happened before. It doesn't hurt any less though. When my best friend and I stopped talking for good, no, we didn't get into a fight. She just was very focused on her boyfriend 24/7. I was very heartbroken. Then again, I learned sometimes we outgrow friendship, and no matter how much you don't want to let them go, you have to. It's part of growing up basically. I say, communicate with them how you feel, because I never got the chance to communicate my feelings. Personally, I bought a new game and spent the next 3 to 4 days crying, then playing the game until I was overwhelmed with sadness and cried again. Probably he/she is dealing with something. Give them time and just be there for them when he/she needs you. I roll my eyes and get on with life. My best friend, the only best friend I had, left me when I was going sober, in and out of the hospital. One day he just didn't respond, and he hasn't been back since. That was 4 years ago this month. I know I shouldn't miss him, but I do. I've accepted that he won't come back, but it's a damn shame that someone can just throw away amazing memories like that. I, 18F, drove circles around my city and oscillated between being flamingly angry and intensely sad. It helped a little talk to a therapist, that helped a lot. I also took time for myself and treated myself to a couple things. Being kind to yourself is the first step to being kind to others. Imo. When we ended up talking again, she kind of acted like it was NBD to not talk to me for a month. After I confronted her over her crappy treatment of me, she wanted to essentially pick up where we left off and gloss over all the issues I stood up for myself. Instead, that ended up ending our friendship. While I cannot speak to your situation, I do send my love to you and acknowledge how complex and deeply hurtful these times can be in a friendship. Stay true to yourself. 3. I haven't quite had that experience, but I would do the same thing that I do after breaking up with a romantic relationship. Self-care, self-reflection / re-evaluation. We are adults and I don't use silence as a manipulation tool, nor will I accept it from those in my life. Her abrupt exit would signify to me that she is setting a boundary for space and is unwilling to discuss, so I would happily respect that. It's horrible, but I can tell you through personal experience and experience of others, they will come around. Give them space. Deal with it the best you can. Start writing a journal. I write my feelings into a notice app. I just accept it. IDKY girls would always turn their backs on me when I was little, so I got used to the idea where someone will leave me eventually, even if we were like sisters or SMTH. Also, PPL come teach us a lesson and go. I think that's how life works. Honestly, I freak out and get a lot of anxiety. I don't handle it well at all. I kind of just try to ignore it for as long as possible. If it's permanent, then at some point I will finally realize and probably get a bit emotional, but it would be slow and steady, continuing on for a while. After that I would be fine. It's never easy though. Most times I will reconnect with them, but on the occasional time this doesn't happen, it can be really hard to deal with. If I'm not sure why she has stopped speaking to me, I will try to ask her, and if she doesn't respond or gives a passive aggressive answer, I stop being friends with her and cut her off. I always ask first, because I'm not the type that cannot at least try, especially if it was a decent friendship. However, I'm not going to waste my energy on someone who doesn't want to be my friend. I did this recently to a 12-year friendship that, if I'm being honest to myself, she has gone through periods of not treating me that well, and I made excuses for her because she was my oldest friend. If I did something that I know would cause her to react this way, I'd accept it and respect her wish to not speak to me. I've actually never been in this situation. It's always been my first paragraph. Probably because all of those friends have been very passive aggressive types. Never really happened to me. Actually, it did once in high school. I replayed in my head how our relation was. I realized it was toxic for me, so it was good to let her go 5 years later, and I do miss her sometimes, but F that be. Rage, sadness, apathy and all good after that. People come and go in life. Some stay a while, some a short time. Each is a lesson, whether good or bad. It depends what the reason is, why they stop talking to you. I just had this happen with a best friend. She's always taken things way seriously / personally, and it's almost a chore talking to her, even though I love her. I went to an 80s venue with 3 friends, and she got snippy about COVID. I pointed out we're all triple vaxxed and have all had COVID in the past 6 months, so we're immune to a large degree, and we would be safe. Ever since, I can't get more than good morning out of her. I'm so tired of apologizing. I'm tired in general. If people want be around you, they can. If not, just forget them and focus on your own path. Had this happen. She told me I was annoying her and I should stop following her. I wasn't. I cried, was sad, etc. But I got over it, remembered the nice stuff, and now we talk again from time to time. Been 3 years. Depends on the situation. My used to be best friend of 10 years blocked me on every platform possible because she believed that I was jealous of her new relationship and had tried to stop her current partner from ever getting with her, none of which is true, but it honestly just came to me how much crap she dumped on me and horribly she treated me, so it was relieving that she stopped. If your best friend isn't going to take the time and effort to attempt to fix your friendship, it wasn't worth it in the first place, especially if they blame you for the incident and don't realize that a problem takes two people to work through and solve. Take this as an opportunity to focus on your health, whether it be spiritual, mental, or physical. Find comfort in other friends you know you can trust, or even family. Listening to emotional music or just screaming in a pillow are also great ways to let out some emotions. Random, but Olivia Rodrigo songs don't really specify the gender of whom she's singing to, so I kind of use those as if I'm singing to my ex-friend. If it makes you feel any better, I had a friend say she doesn't want to be my friend anymore in the 7th grade, and I'm still salty about it to this day, 13 years later. Hurts, man.